Um, uh, Bobby, if you were to give us like an ultimate objective, what's the purpose for today? What should everybody take away from today?
Today, what I'd like to talk about is how to do that open house so that it will be successful. I think many of us had sat at an open house and um, it was about as boring as being a prisoner of war, right? And there's nobody to talk to, or people come in and they go out, and we don't seem to get any leads or anything else. So why would that be a fun thing to do? Uh, it's it isn't, and it isn't very productive. And the reason I'm talking about it today is because uh, at our party, that was a great party for those of you that missed it. I wish you'd have been there. Anyway, uh, we were talking about what would you like to hear about, and everybody said open house, how to make an open house successful.
How do we gauge success? Is that what would that be?
You got a contact, you got a lead, you got business, right? We're in the business to get business. That's what I want. I want business. Do I want that house sold? Yeah, be nice if it did. What are the odds? Almost none. That's not going to happen. But if they're there, are they looking for something else? And how can I help them? And I wanted to, for those of you that don't know my background, I've been in real estate for 45 years, but of that, I spent 9 of them on site. When I first moved down to Denver, I thought, I don't know how y'all do this. I cannot figure it out. I could get lost in a cul-de-sac. So trying to go from one end of this major city to another to look for houses. And remember, this was back in the day when they had the book. I was like, the book of maps. Oh, I don't do that well. That is not a good thing for me. I went on site to sell homes. I thought, well, I could find one spot and get there. And I stayed with builders for 9 years. And in that 9 years, it was a fabulous 9 years worth of learning. I would recommend it to everybody, except it's obviously not going to work to all get that job. What it allowed me to do was spend 9 years listening to a partner. And some of them were exceptional. And I learned things that I picked out and kept as my own. There were other partners that were really bad, and I got to find out, why is that bad? What happened to, how does this guy kill himself? What goes wrong here? And so that's what I'd like to share with you today, because if you think about it, being on site is an open house. 9 years of open house,
Right.
5 days a week, open house. I did that. And 2 of those years, I was the top producer in all of Denver. So there's a couple of things I've learned from that, how to get those people to talk to you, how to get information out of them. And if this isn't the house for them, what can we do to go to the next one? What do I have to know, have, do, or get? When I teach Power Series, I teach the whole thing. It takes me 6 hours. We are now going to boil down 6 hours into one. What I wanted to ask for your opinion is, do you want to start at how to get the traffic, or do you figure you already know how to get the traffic and you would like to learn how do I talk to the nice people?
I
So does
think
anybody have an idea?
I think we should do get the traffic. I think somebody even just asked me that this last week. Hey, hey, and I even responded. I was like, put it online and put signs in the yard.
Well, yeah, and it's a little more complicated than that. If you take a page out of the book of the builders, what do they do? Well, they start within more than a mile of their community, and they put up bandit signs pointing to the community from every single direction that you could possibly take. I've noticed one of the things that agents do often is you don't put anywhere near enough signs. You don't have them on every corner. You have not anticipated, what if people came from the north? What if they came from the south, east, west? Have you got signage everywhere to lead them into this open house? Just an aside, for us as real estate agents, the best house for you to hold open is about 2 turns from a busy street. It's not that you can't do the one way in the back of Highlands Ranch or something, but you need a boatload of signs. I think one of the things that drives us nuts is we don't want to put out the signs. I have heard that there are businesses, what you're pointing at you, right, Jared? You don't like it. I don't like it either. So I don't imagine either does anybody else. But if I want people to come, I recognize that there's no point in me spending Saturday or Sunday afternoon in somebody else's house when I end up with no one to talk to.
I think,
if I don't put the signs out, that's what I'll get.
and I think that that's a good point. And I think I brought up the fact that I don't like doing it. Doesn't change the fact that I blow up every corner with multiple signs to ensure that it's noticed. If I'm going to do it, and I think this is kind of the whole point of the call is a, you know, the open house is the opportunity for us to get additional work. That's the whole point of this call. But not only that, if you're gonna do it right and do it effectively. So if you, what you're saying though is put out
right. If you don't start out there, if you don't get the traffic to the open house, then what were you going to say to the nice people is kind of irrelevant because you didn't have any people to talk to. And how do you get the sign noticed? Here's extra work. Add some helium balloons. Is it extra work? Yes. What's my objective? Get the people to, I really think there's probably a business in that. If somebody would just be that person that, and maybe we could find some young person that would be willing to do it for $20 an hour or something.
David's brother.
Well, David's brother's going to have a long commute.
I 10 out of 10 don't recommend though.
You don't recommend him, huh?
I will never hire my brother ever again.
There's a good story behind it.
It isn't that much of a fun job.
Well, so hold on. Anyway, I'm going to share it real quick. David hired his brother to go put out his signs, and his brother was having a hard time like staking them in, right? And David's like, "What are you talking about? They're A-frames."
Yeah, your brother needs to meet my sister. No, that's not good. Not good at all.
But you know, here's the thing is you can get A-frames, but they have inexpensive, just stick in the ground, you know, signs. And
just bandit signs.
That's mostly
all I need to do. I don't need to do anything expensive. I don't need I do need my name on it so that somebody won't steal it, but I don't have any with my name on it. So I probably have about 50 open house signs, which by the by, I could let somebody borrow my open house signs. If the problem is you don't have enough signs, we can get you the signs. Then the thing is just get the damn things out there. Yep. Because if you don't, your open house is a dud. The other one, this one's kind of critical. The one where you put out in front of the house that says open, come in, that one is important because otherwise people get the heebie-jeebies that they think they're walking into somebody's house. And they won't walk in, they won't come in, they'll get that far. The other thing that I've seen happen is that there was a house across the street from my daughter that was listed and the agent was doing an open house. And this was in a cul-de-sac, okay? So picture this, it's in a cul-de-sac. You come up to the end of the cul-de-sac, you followed all the signs and it says that the open house is in the cul-de-sac, but you look around, I don't see any open house. She parked her car right square in front of the open house sign. I mean, you had no way of knowing that house was open because she managed to shut the thing down. So note to self, think about where you're parking your car. Also, think about washing your car because a ratty ass car is not.
Or parking around the corner.
Yeah.
Do not park in the driveway.
Yeah,
I've been open houses where the agent has parked in the driveway.
And since I'm like, Colorado, some of us, particularly the ladies, the men can probably figure out how to do this. You might bring some water to soften where you're going to put the signs. Because have you ever done that? Where you're out there just like beating the daylights out of the sign and it's into Colorado concrete. And it's like,
it doesn't work.
I can't even put a sign on this corner.
No.
It won't go in the ground. So I did learn to bring some water so that I could soften the little edges and and put the thing in there. If I'm ever gonna put a sign on somebody's private property, I always ring the doorbell to get permission, because if I don't, they can get their drawers in and not for that one.
So signs is obviously most important. What else do we do to generate the traffic?
Do your little ad on your Facebook business page. Get it on Facebook. Now this, you're gonna hate this idea, but I don't care. I'm giving it to you anyway, because sometimes we have to do things we don't like to do. Get your phone out and do a quick, sorry about that. Interrupt my own gig. I told you about the guy that died when that happened. Did I tell you that, Jared?
No.
Yeah, phone went off like that. He was in the neighbor's closet at the time. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. The phone goes off like unexpected. Where was I? Where was I, Kristen?
Marketing your open house.
The Facebook. So you need to just go a couple of days before your open house and go video yourself, show a picture of the house, tell them what a great neighborhood this is, and Balboa Park is right here, and the schools are close, or this is easy to get to the highway from here. That, something wonderful about it, that you're going to love this house. I'm going to hold it open. I'm not going to show the inside of the house, because if I do, it's
you don't have to do the open house.
Right. It's like the Hooker principle of negotiation. Did I tell you that one? The Hooker principle of negotiation is the value of services diminish immediately upon receipt of the service. Right? Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, if I show them the house before the open house, they don't need to come to the open house, because I already gave them the stuff. So I'm not going to show anything inside. I might show if they had a fabulous deck, a fabulous patio, a great yard, I would show that. And I would talk about the neighborhood. So this doesn't need to be very long. And then just invite everybody and tell them how much, you look forward to seeing them on Saturday or Sunday. Or actually, if we did it right, we'd probably do both days. Your signs are already up. Make a deal out of it. Then, so shall we get to the actual open house now? Because we've put it in all the places. Oh, you can put it in
the MLS.
That shows that it's open. So every place that you can go to show that it's open. And here's a couple of reasons why you want to do this. It not only shows the seller. So if this is your seller, I want you to impress the daylights out of them when you tell them that other agents stick about 3 signs in the yard and sit there for the afternoon, boring everyone to death and getting no traffic and not selling your house. But when I sell your house, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a referral. When I sell your house, these are the things that I do. You're going to be on Facebook. You're going to be, maybe there's a publication if you want to do that, or you put it into the MLS, or all the things that you do. I put more signs than anyone else. I have signs everywhere bringing people to your home. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm not just impressing the seller, I'm impressing the neighbors. Okay, so now I'm going to move just a little outside the box and more than what I was going to say about increasing traffic for the open house.
Speaking of neighbors,
if you want business, create an invitation for the neighbors. You are then going to go door knocking to as many neighbors as you can stand to go to and hand them the invitation. The reason I'm giving them the invitation is not because I think they can sell the house down the street or that they want to move down the street. I have absolutely no intention that that's what they're going to do. What I want to do is impress the daylights out of them that when I sell a house, I don't just stick a sign in the yard and disappear. I work. So are you guys thinking about selling your house? Because I'll do the same thing for you.
So I always learned you do the, you know, when you do your neighborhood invite, when you walk around with your invites, to put hey, you know, help us pick your neighbor. You might know somebody who wants to move into the neighborhood, wanted to invite you to the house so you can check it out.
Yeah, whatever it is that you use, your objective is, if I get, you all know this, you already know this. When you get face to face with people, you're better, right? They like you, they talk to you. When you're face to face, you've just increased the probability that they will choose you. And now you're showing them how hard you work, that you actually get out, and sometimes I've made a joke of it and say, I actually work. I am going to knock on all these doors and invite everybody, because one of you, just one of you, might know somebody that wants that house. And if that's the case, I want to make sure that for the sake of the seller, I have contacted everybody I can. So I want you to know that that's what I do when I take a listing. And if you would like that same kind of service, just let me know. Okay, so now I've invited all the neighbors, and I may make that at my open houses at 1. And so the neighborhood event is from 12 to 1, that it's just the neighbors to come and see the house.
Before the
Okay.
public open house.
Pardon me?
You're saying before the public open house.
And then, of course, I'm going to have pastries, little things. Why do I do that? Not because I want you eating food or I worry that you're going to starve if you don't do that, but the little bottle of water and the pastry slows you down. And when you are slowed down because you're eating or drinking, I have time to talk.
Right.
I have time to find out what's really on your mind. When do you really plan to move? What are you, essentially, what are you doing here?
Right. What actually brought you out?
Right. And so that slows them down. And that's what I want, is people slowed down. So those snacks will stay out for the public too, because I want them slowed down. Okay. I've already talked to the homeowner about setting the stage. If they don't do this, I will do it myself. Take a book out of the builders. All lights are on. When I say all lights, I mean the ones that are over the range, the little lamps, that everything I can find. Over the years, the commonality with people is they have said to me, this is almost like one of their lines that they learned in buyer's training school, was that you got to say, I like light, bright, and airy. Do you hear that one? No one's talking to me. Okay.
Light, bright, and airy.
Yeah, okay. So they like things like that. So knowing that, I want window treatments open. I want, unless it's looking at something disgusting, but I want the windows, the
Blinds
windows
open.
The blinds are open. The home needs to be cleaned. I don't clean houses, but I have been known to, hide things in their closet, or right. But usually it's always because I've told them it needs to be clean. Animals need to be gone. I don't want them in the cage either, because then they're going to bark all day, and there are people who are afraid. And so, and the smell. So get them out of there. And speaking of smells, that's one that sometimes you have to gently say something to the seller. The other one, that a vacant house obviously has oftentimes a stale smell to it. So here's the one that will take that out, is a vanilla air freshener.
Or
So
just
vanilla air. And what you don't want to do is over freshen with the scents, because people then know that you're hiding something or believe you're hiding something. And they, of course, assume that what you're hiding is noxious gases that kill us all. So it needs to be A vanilla is just pretty much an even scent. Let's get to, we've prepared this open house. We're ready to go. We've got lots of signs out. We've done it on every available social media thing that we can think of. We've got our little video out there. We've done everything we know how to do in order to get as much traffic as we can. Now let's get to what happens when the nice people get there. There's a 4-step process, and I really want you to write this down, that the first step is the greeting. Here's how that works. This is why it bothers me to do this on Zoom, because I'm sitting down and you can't see anything. I want you to see a distance between me and the door. Sometimes the people will ring the doorbell, right? So I open up the door, then I step back. I'm always back. If they're walking in, I am back probably 12 feet. I will then step towards them. If I'm back like that, I will step towards them and welcome them. Hi, glad to see you today. Or hi, come on in. Welcome. What brings you out on such a hot day? Warm day, cold day, rainy day, boring day, whatever it is. Then you go in. So I've greeted them, and I go immediately into the qualify. Here's what I mean by qualify. I am not asking them how much money they make. I am not asking them how many debts do they have. That it is not that kind of qualifying. What I'm qualifying for is, are you in the market for a new home? I'll have to tell you the story of Diane. I was asked to spend the weekend with Diane at her subdivision because I was moving to another subdivision. I don't remember now how I ended up with her, but she was another MAME award winner. She was a top producer. So I was excited about spending the weekend with her. And as I sat in her office, when people would come in, she would get up from her desk, go around, greet the people, and immediately she asked them, so are you in the market for a new home? And when she first did it, I thought, I was sitting in the chair and I was like, sounds like really in your face. She got right to the point. Whoa,
Right,
I had
right.
to sneak up on them. I'd say, how soon do you need to before you get into your new home? See, that's sneaking up on them.
Right.
But here's what I discovered. They answered her. They answered her. So when she went out, hi, welcome. Are you guys in the market for a new home? They answered. Sometimes the answer was vague. Well, I don't know, maybe. Do you hear a yes in maybe? It's not a no, is it?
No.
No. So anything that's not a no is a possible yes. There's a little yes in there. So never discount that. How about, sorry, in the market for a new home? Probably not. Do you hear a no in there? No. No, that's not a no. That's stay away from me, salesperson. Right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know you well enough to want to talk to you. Are you in the market for a new home? Well, yeah, but we're working with a realtor. Are
Right,
they?
what's their name?
No, that's none of my business right now. That's in your face. I think you're a liar, you little snake.
That's exactly what that is.
I've not found that one to be really effective. So
Save that
I
one.
don't care. I'm going to ignore that. You
Come
know
out
what
and
I'm
say
going to
that,
pay
Bobbi?
attention. What's that?
You don't want to come out and tell them that right out the gate. You lying snake. No.
Yeah, don't write that one down because that's not that good. I've tried that, Johnny, but it doesn't go. So I'm going to ignore it. Why? I don't know if it's true. If it is true, okay, you can bring your agent back. right? I'll know before the end of our meeting whether it's true or not. I don't need to know now. Remember when I taught you about mints or nuts?
Too soon.
Timing is critical. Right now, they don't know me. They don't know me. They don't like me. They don't, I mean, I don't know that they don't like me, but they don't like me. They, I'm a salesperson. I, there's just stuff I need to know, but I don't need to know it right now. I'm not marrying you right now. I can find out stuff later. There's no in your face, explain yourself to me now. You don't have to do that. I will find out whether you're really legitimately working with an agent before you leave. I'll know. So I'm going to ignore that part and assume that this is a yes. What else could a yes sound like? So are you in the market for a new home? Oh yeah, but I don't know if we like this neighborhood. Do I need to start selling the neighborhood right now?
No.
No, bad timing. Huh, okay, well, have a look around, see what you think of the house. Why? Because I don't have to sell this house and I don't have to sell this neighborhood. I can sell something else, can't I? But first I have to make friends with you. You have to want to work with me before we leave. How am I going to get that accomplished? I'm going to get that accomplished because I don't hassle you. Remember, like the no fight listing? I don't hassle you. So you've given me now a qualification. You walked in and I said, so are you guys in the market for a new house? And they say, well, yeah, probably. I don't know. Did you have a price range in mind? Well, we were thinking anywhere from 550 to 6. Okay, that's all I need to know right now, right? I've qualified them. Yes, they're buyers and they have a price range and they're at this house. So then I'm going to say, so go ahead and look around. Let me know if I can help you. And then I step 3 steps back. Why? Because I'm taking the pressure off. When you're with me, it's not that I'm not pressuring you, it's that you don't know I'm pressuring you. So I take the 3 steps back. Now I move on to what would be the third thing that you need to know how to do, and that is demonstrate. So we've gone greet, qualify, demonstrate. And here's why we're doing all these things. Because when the people leave your open house, I want you to look back through that and be able to say to yourself, I know why they didn't buy the house. They didn't buy the house because they hate this neighborhood. Okay, I'd wonder how they wandered into it in the first place, but let's assume that was it. They didn't buy this house because it only has 2 bedrooms, they need 3. It only has 3, they need 4. This doesn't have a basement, they wanted a basement. They cook a lot, this doesn't have a very big kitchen. They don't want to do the repairs. They do want to do repairs. Why don't they like this house? If I know the answer to that, because they are going to buy a house, they're going to buy it someplace else. They are going to buy a house, but they're going to get a bigger one. They're going to get a smaller one. They're going to get a cheaper one. They're going to get a more expensive one. If I have done all that and I know the answer to why they didn't buy this house, I have done my job. I may not have sold this house, but I've done my job. I have asked all the right questions and I have all the right answers. If they ever leave and you say to yourself, I wonder what the hell those people wanted. I don't know why they didn't buy the house, and I don't know what they are looking for. You didn't do your job. That's on you. So that's where you need to say, okay, I need more education because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That one, I'm telling you, that's where it lies. You have to know. And then the final step is to close. So I'm going to back up and do demonstration and then teach you how closing works. So to demonstrate, I have greeted them. I've qualified them. Are you in the market for a new home? And they said, yeah, we are. Oh, what are you looking for? Well, we're looking for, and it has the, and it doesn't have, and it's about this expensive. Say, oh, okay, well, look around this one. And if you need anything, just give me a holler. Then I back up my 3 steps because I'm allowing them to move forward. Move forward, never block a room. So I have not blocked the, let's say it's the formal living room. I'm out of the way and they've moved into the formal living room. Now, some of you are thinking, when do I get them to register? Show of hands, who's thinking that? Oh, come on, it's not just me, then I just don't have to tell you. All right, you can raise your little hands. Geez, what a tough crowd.
Nobody's
All right. When do I get them to register? All of your registration or your sign up for the drawing or anything else that you've got is in the kitchen. It is never at the front door. Because here's what I'll guarantee you. I'll guarantee you that if you approach them at the front door with here, sign this, you'll get them to sign, but the name won't be right and neither will the phone number. Okay, why? Because you're a salesperson. I don't know that I want to know you. I don't know that I want to work with you. I don't know. I'm not comfortable. And so I am not giving out my phone number right now. I'm not giving out my email address right now. I have too much of that stuff to begin with, or I'll give you my phony one that no one ever answers. Why? Because you haven't made me like you yet. I'm not committed to you yet.
right.
So I'm not going to give you the truthful answer. It's going to be in the kitchen because by the time we get to the kitchen, I plan to have made friends with you. We've gone into the living room and I look around as though this is the first time I've seen the living room. And I might comment on, they sure have a nice view out that window, don't they? Because I'm just making conversation with you. I
Right.
like the way they did those window treatments, don't you? So where is it you guys are living now? Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice area. What prompts you to think about moving? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I might say, I don't know if this house is going to work for you because it's only got the 3 bedrooms, but it does have a loft, so maybe we can turn that into something. Anyway, just keep looking around. And then I will back off yet again. It looks like I'm leaving you alone. I'm not. I'm backing off so that you feel comfortable. You have time to stop and look and check things out and notice these windows, that window treatment, this floor. If I stand around and talk the entire time, I'm stopping you from even looking at this house because you can't talk to me and look at this house.
Right.
Now you've moved into, let's say the next room is the dining room. And I slowly come back into the dining room. Maybe I'm on my way into the kitchen, but in the dining room, I might find something else to mention or say, or it's just something quick, not long. Do you have a dining room in your house now? Yeah, we do. How often do you use it? Oh, well, and then of course we'll have a discussion about how I use mine or I don't use mine or I, whatever chatting kind of stuff. Not selling. I'm not selling. I'm not dangerous. I am.
You're making a
but
friend.
I don't know that I'm dangerous. You're making what, Jared?
You're making a friend.
I'm making a friend. Yeah, I'm
Commonality.
talking with them. Now I get into the kitchen. I get in there first, obviously, because they're still checking out the dining room. When I get into the kitchen, then I have an epiphany. You know what? I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Bobbi, and you are? As though I just now remembered. Why? Because let's go to the whys. I'm a why person. If you're standing at the front door and I introduce myself, I don't know about you guys, but if you think like me, and I know I do, I can forget a name within half a second. Anybody else? Yeah, exactly. We all do it, right? And the sooner they pop up with their name, the faster it goes out of my head. So once I've made a connection with somebody, then I have a better chance of remembering their names, and they have a better chance of remembering mine. So by the time we've chatted at the door, we've chatted in the living room, we've chatted in the dining room, now we're in the kitchen, and I suddenly remember I had forgotten to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Bobbi. Now, do you think they're paying attention? Now they're paying attention.
Right.
And you are John and Mary. So let me tell you, now I'm going to tell you, either the seller has asked that I get all the names of all the people who've been in the house. So if you wouldn't mind jotting that down, I'd appreciate it. Or we're having a drawing. And what might my drawing be? Here's a fun one. Who was it? Was it Johnny? You were just talking about some restaurant, some great Mexican restaurant that, I mean, you might go to those people and say, so I would like to do a drawing and give somebody a free meal at your restaurant. You get, he gets a new customer, and you get something to give away, a free meal at the open house. So if you sign up for this, we'll put you in the drawing. It might be the drawing is for Home Depot. We all need that. Might be for Lowe's. Whatever it is that you think might benefit. So you could do the drawing and have the fishbowl there that you'll do the drawing later this afternoon and give away a gift card. That might be how you capture their name and number. But by this time, they should like you. So do you want to know a secret to how to find out whether they're telling you the truth or not with their phone number?
I'm ready.
One person again.
Whether I'm mute.
Oh, okay. Huh, I didn't mean to insult you people. So what you do is you repeat the number back to them, but you transpose the last two numbers.
Oh, you screw it up.
Mhm.
I used that at the bar when I was picking up girls in the day. It worked at the time.
These are advanced techniques.
Yeah, I'm impressed, Bobby. That's good.
I could go with you as your wingman. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you transpose the last two numbers, and if they're telling the truth, they will say, no, it's not 98, it's 89. Oh, okay, got that wrong. If they're lying to you, they don't correct you because they don't remember what it was, what number they made up.
What are they made of?
And I say all that to say this, it's not that I'm going to call them on it, because if you really don't want me to call you, I won't. Why would I? I won't.
Right.
So I don't care. I just want to know whether this is the correct number or not. And now I do. So I'm in the kitchen and we've chatted, and I've gotten them to sign something. Now I have the information that I want. Now I can, so let's do an assumption. These are the people that nobody else has come in. Now, the question is, what happens, because this happens on site. I'm working with these people, they're hot buyers, but I've got other people that come in. What should I do? When I've got other people that come in, I go back to the front door and I greet them and quickly qualify them. So we're in the market for a new home. No, we're just the nosy neighbors. We're just looking around at things. Okay, then back to the legitimate buyer I go. And I don't follow them around all that deeply after this. Why? Because I already have what I want. What I want is the contact information. Let's go back to these are the only people in the house. Now they're done. I say, well, so what'd you think? Well, we think, the secondary bedrooms are just a little too small, and I don't think that's going to work for our kids. And so you're looking for something that has a little more space for it. Yeah, we are. Did you want to stay in this neighborhood? Well, we do like this neighborhood, but this one isn't really going to work for us, which is probably the more likely answer. At that point, I'm gonna say, is anybody helping you to find your new home? Write those words down. Is anybody helping? It's not the classic, are you working with a realtor? Because I will tell you, if you say, are you working with an agent? You're gonna get a yes, even if they're not.
Right.
It's how to get rid of salespeople 101. They taught them that in buyer's training school. So-
You know what I do when I'm at Costco, and they always ask me to switch my like phone provider or get solar panels. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm a renter.
Yeah.
Are you
I
with
mean,
solar panels? Oh, I'm a renter.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we
Do
know how
that
to
for people
dodge
that come
stuff.
to the house.
What'd you say, Johnny?
I was saying, I piggyback off of what Jared just said. I do that when people come to the house because we have a no soliciting sign on our front door. And
Mhm.
some people, I don't know if they're blind to it, if they just ignore it, but when they walk up and they ring the doorbell, they're like, "Hey, we'd like to, sell you, new trees." And I'm like, "Man, I'm a renter. I'm sorry. I'd have to talk to my landlord about that." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Never mind.
Right, we know how to get rid of them,
Right.
and so they're trained to do that. With my way, I sneak up on them.
Well,
Is
that's
anybody,
super,
what's that,
I
Kristen?
said that's super important because I didn't really know how to ask that question. I think in a way that didn't sound off-putting. This last
Mhm.
weekend when I helped Sarah did an open house, and so guess what I got to do? I got to
What?
work for free.
Yeah, that was fun, isn't it?
I got to show somebody a house afterward who's working with an agent in Westminster. Yay!
I love when that happens.
So
here's how to
you went and
avoid it.
showed them.
Because think about it, what I'm trying to say is I've made friends with these people already, right? That's been my objective, to make friends with them, chatting. Am I trying to sell this house? No, and sometimes you walk into an open house and realize that somebody put some new guy in charge of this, has no idea what they're doing, and they're busy talking about, and look at the wood floors, those are high dollar wood floors, and that's the thing over there that's an expensive thing, and out there they got a thing, and they got a hot tub, and they haven't figured out, they have no idea what these people are looking for. They're selling this product, and that is all. And it's like, you moron, they're probably not buying this product. They're buying a product. They're buying one of those houses out there, not this one. How do I know what to take them to or what to suggest? Because I never shut up about this one.
Right.
Jared?
Do you ever, ask questions like, "Hey, how you guys? What do you guys think about interest rates, or anything along those lines, just to kind of gauge how they're feeling about the market?" And maybe more specifically, why I'm bringing it up is like, bringing up like 3-2-1 buy downs or like financing options. Oh, I imagine you guys have heard about a 2-1 buy down to reduce your rate. I guess. Do
No.
you do anything?
You know
No.
why? Because I think that's too sophisticated and they're not my best friends yet. So what I'm going to do is wait until we get into a closing situation. So if I could, would you? And they say, well, this one's too expensive. I like it, but this one's too expensive. So when you talk about expensive, what are you thinking? Well, this one's 700 and I don't think I can afford more than 650. So let me ask you this. If I could get you the payment on this one the same as a payment on a 650, would you be interested in taking a look at it? Well, yeah. How are you going to do that? I have ways.
Right.
I don't need to explain to you how I'm going to pull all this stuff off, but all I need is an if I could, would you? If I could get that for you, would you? If I could get one for you, well, we need something about 300,000. So let me ask you this. If I could get you something that had a payment for, like, it would be 300,000, would you be interested in taking a look at it? Yes. What am I going for? I'm going for an appointment. I'm going for a yes. What do I need? If I could do this for you, would you? Why ever you didn't buy this house? Well, I need more bedrooms. So if I could find you one that had more bedrooms, would you want it in this neighborhood? Would you want it here? Would you want it for this price? What would you want? So all I'm doing is investigating. You tell me what you want. And then if I could find one of those, would you be interested in taking a look at it? Now, unless they're working with an agent and they really are, well, my mother is an agent and she's been working with us. I'm screwed,
Meh.
right? Probably mother's gonna take the business.
How is it
I-
working with your mom?
What's that?
How is it working with your mom? I hate it.
No, I don't, I don't do stuff like that, because it's just gonna irritate people, in my opinion. I'll probably give up before then. Unless I was gonna say, well, if you get into one of those mom things, I'd be happy to help you out. Let me give you my card. I did take one away from a mom. I thought that was pretty amazing one time.
There you go.
About 4 years ago. I still amazed my own self. He picked me over his mother. But I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it happens. But so let's go back and say that this is somebody who is actually working with an agent. They have an agency agreement and they are working with their agent. Drop it. I now found out what I needed to find out. They are not available for me. Okay, I'm not going to get them all, am I? But what I want is every single one of them that wants to buy or sell. And we've got just a few minutes to talk about what if they are the nosy neighbors. Why did the nosy neighbors come over? Sometimes they want to see the job you're doing and they want to see the competition on a house. So is that why they're here? So I don't ignore them. So the nosy neighbors are looking around. I say, well, we could do this for your house too. No, we've been here for 30 years. We're not going anywhere. I'm just looking for answers. Where are real people and who are not real people? And all I'm trying to do is give you the tools for finding real people. Sometimes they will tell you stories. Sometimes they'll say things like, oh no, when I worked at new homes, they would say things like, no, we're just here looking for decorating ideas. And I would say, that's fine. Go through the models and see what you think. And when they would come back, I would say, now be careful, because if you keep going through model homes, you're going to find one that jumps up and bites you and you're going to want it. And then when they'd come back, I'd say, well, did it jump up and bite you? No, did you get any ideas? Well, we got so what do you think? Maybe we ought to get you a new one too. I mean, I take a shot.
Right.
Does it always work? No, if I had something that always works, I'd be like living in a little place down in Florida with drinking a drink with an umbrella in it. I mean, down in Mar-a-Lago or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be sitting here. Nothing works all the time. But I just wanted to give you enough tools. It was by asking those questions. So I'll give you this one's kind of, I know it's braggy, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to share with you why it's important to learn to ask the questions. I had one community, I guess this had to do with financing. I think I already told you that. But asking questions and going out on a limb and doing all of those kinds of things, I sold 109 homes in that community that year. And then I left and they replaced me with a fellow who didn't take any chances. And he sold 7 homes the next year. All I'm trying to do is tell you that this stuff makes a difference. It really does. And you need to figure out how you're going to start conversations, keep conversations rolling. And one of the things that I would like to do is I'd like to have a in-person training where we role play. You can try to throw me off. It's not going to work. And I want you to be able to see you can't do it.
Well, but I think if we were to kind of, what I think you're helping us realize is you're tactfully, you're tactfully presenting yourself at the beginning, like, hey, welcome, right? Intelligently withholding your name because strategically you're going to use it later, and just kind of welcoming, hey guys, I see that you're here.
Everything I do has a purpose.
Totally.
How I approach them, when I step back, where do I go? Here's the other thing I'm not going to do. Even if they're chattery and we're standing in the living room, and they're talking too much, I say, you know what, or
That rarely happens, Bobby.
I know it rarely happens, but it does happen to me. So we're
I think-
talking, and I need to, here's what I understand. I need to let you out of this because you came to look at a house. You did not come to make your new best friend. So even though you're talking and I'm talking and it seems like we're doing great, I know that there's a cutoff when I need to let you go. And I say, you know, I could just visit with you for the rest of the day, but I know you didn't come here to just visit with me. So you guys look through the house and let me know what you think. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Bobby, I think everything you've said today is fantastic. And I think it works really well if you have a moderate to slower open house where maybe only 1 or 2 people are coming in at a time and you can really spend diligent time with somebody. But what happens when you're getting the rush, maybe right at the opening of a brand new open house? It's a beautiful home.
Busy neighborhood.
Yeah, you got 10 people come through at one time. How are you managing that as a single agent in a room?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I started to say it earlier and then I went off track because I've had those on site too, where it's busy, 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 busy. I cannot meet all these people's demand at the same time. That's why I'm going to go back to the front door. I greeted them. And my second one was qualify. So are you in the market for a new house? Unless I get a yes, I'm not dealing with you. I don't have time to deal with you. I have too many other people. If I get a yes, then I will pay attention to you. And maybe if I've got so many people, I will just go maybe I'll have my stuff farther away from the front door and say, you know what, the seller has asked that I make sure that I get the names of everybody that's been in the house. So if you would jot down your name on there, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. And then it has email and phone number. Well, that's like a command and people will just generally do it. And I may have that closer if I'm busy, 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 and it's just like constant supply of people. But because I qualified at the front door, are you in the market for a new home? I asked the question, I got the answer, now I know what to do. If I get a no, I'm not even going to pursue you, or a we're just looking, I'm not going to pursue you. I've got too many other
Opportunities.
I don't have time to try to turn you into a buyer.
But we're
So
also
I
increasing
know
our chances of actually finding that buyer. And by you,
Right.
asking the initial qualifying question, hey, are you in the market
Right.
to buy a home?
Because
Like,
that gets me to the only thing I really want to know. Are you
Right.
in the market for a new home?
right.
I say it nice, I say it friendly, I say it charming, I say it like this is the first time I ever thunk it up. But, and it is a show, I will tell you this, a busy open house, any open house, actually, any sale is a show. We have an acting job. I'm going to act enthusiastic. I'm going to act like this is the first time I ever saw this house. I'm going to act like this is the first time I ever used that statement. I'm going to act. And note to self, I don't care if you've had a miserable day and your kid did what he shouldn't have or didn't do what he should have. It doesn't make any difference to me. This is an acting job. You're on stage. The curtain opens and it has nothing to do with your personal life. Do the show. Do it every time you go to do the show.
And this goes back to the very beginning. If you're going to do this, set up the signs. If you're going to do this, make a friend. If you're going to do this, put everything you got into making it the best. Learn from what you've done. Try different techniques and tactics. Like make this.
Back in the early years before the internet even existed, if you were going to get business, the only way you could get business is you had to go out and hunt for it.
Right.
You had to go find it. There was absolutely nothing that caused it to find you. Well, a sign. You might get a sign call. You're not going to get a sign call now. So open house was critical. You better get good at doing an open house because how many other ways are there to find people? You can do door knocking. Well, they're not always home, and that's kind of a grueling thing. You could do cold calling, and a lot of them hang up, and so that's kind of difficult. Or you could do an open house.
Right.
You better figure out how to do an open house. And David's right. If they're really busy, then I cut to the chase. Are you in the market for a new home? You've either given me the right answer and I will do what I can with you. Because all I'm looking for, I got to make one sale out of this, right? So if you are in the market for a new home, and then I come back, I've said, well, you go ahead and look through the house. Somebody else comes in, or by this time they're already in the living room. I'm still going to welcome them and say, so are you guys in the market for a new home?
Right.
Well, we are, and now I've got two. So now what do? I go back and forth. A third one comes through. Are you in the market for a new home? No, we're just kind of looking around. Okay, dropping a hole. I'm keeping up with these two, and I'm going to get their contact information, because the odds are somebody's leaving without me getting any more information. I don't have time to find out. So if I could get you a would you, if I could find that. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to call them up and say, so give me an idea. What did you think of that house on Birch? Oh, okay. So it's got, then you'd like and what were you looking for if you did find it? Gotcha. So if I found one of those, would you like me to give you a holler?
There it is.
So now I'm going to do it on the phone, right? I'd like to have done it in person, but I'm too busy. I've had days like that where we have 25 people through the models at any given time. But if I have the drawing out there in the kitchen for something that is, and if I knew that I was doing an upper end house, let's say I'm doing a $2 million house, and this is worth a lot of money to me, then my bait might be $100 gift card at Home Depot, or some exotic restaurant dinner for two, or whatever it takes to get to be enough bait that they will fill it out. And then when they've all gone, I can go back through and give people a call and say, you know, it was so busy. I really apologize. I wasn't able to spend much time with you. So I thought I'd give you a call back, ask you kind of what you thought of the house. And of course, they don't want to buy it. So what would it look like if you found exactly what you were looking for? So if I could find you one of those, would you be interested in taking a look?
There you go.
See, with that statement, I don't need to ask you if you have an agent, do I? Because if you've signed by our agency, you're going to say something about it right now. No, I'm not, because we're working with an agent. Oh, okay. Well, good luck with your search, right? I don't need to ask that question. I will find out. And if they're working with an agent and they haven't signed by our agency, then I will steal them.
There you go.
From the old days, there was no protection.
Anybody have any questions for Bobbi? That's good stuff. I think what you're reminding us to do is really put everything we have into doing it. If you're doing it, make sure you're doing it right. And not only that, with just taking those 4 steps within, hosting the actual open house, when you have the opportunity of somebody walking through the door, you're intelligently supporting and navigating them as a client and friend. Like I'm looking to find people who I can help. And if I can find people that actually let me help them, you're actually getting your ultimate result. That was the client info.
Well, and I have to be able to delve in. I have to be able to do 2 things. I have to get you to like me and trust me. And I have to find out what you're really looking for, if
What's
anything.
important. Right. What's
What
important.
would you like? And even if your request is stupid, you want a house just like this $600,000 house, and you want it, you can't afford more than $350,000. It does not mean that you're not going to buy something.
Right.
I can't make that presumption you're not going to buy something. What should I do? If I really cared, I
You
should
just help.
probably get you started in a 350. We'll get you into a condo, and then in a couple of years, we'll sell it and let it buy the bigger house. Fair enough?
I do have a question for Bobbi. So Brittany brought up when we were speaking on Sunday, how you get people to sign in, like what other, I know obviously making conversation with them and stuff, but a lot of people don't want to sign in.
Mhm.
So what other ways do you have to get people to sign in?
Well, because it's one of two ways. I've said, either the seller wants to know who's been in his house. And so I'm gonna humor him by having you write down, here, filling this out. It might be that I use the bait, which is we're having a drawing for the Home Depot card, for the dinner card, for the whatever it is that I think is enough bait in this price range to get you to sign it. And the drawing will happen sometime today. And so it's either the drawing or the asking them to sign it, but it's the where, Natalie. If it's an average open house, not a psychotic open house, then I don't want all of that at the front door, because at the front door, it's too soon. I have not made friends with you yet. I need to make friends first, and then you will sign it.
And I think that's the ultimate objective here is ultimately building the relationship to where when you're asking for the contact info, they're willingly giving it to you and willingly participating and sharing the info.
You could have another column on your sign-in sheet that says, would you like me to call you? And if they put no, it probably means that either I'm not in the market or I already have an agent that I'm working with. So do I have to honor the no? I don't really have to. I probably would, because if you don't want to talk to me, I care. I got enough people to do. Find somebody else.
Right.
But I don't ask that, are you working with an agent? Because I already know what I'm going to get. See, I just don't give them the opportunity to say no to me. So does that help you, Natalie, as to where to get it or when to get it?
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
You could strap them down to a kitchen chair, and put a light in their face, but oftentimes I found that to be
Illegal.
invasive.
A little overbearing.
Right.
What's that?
A little overbearing.
Overbearing. Yeah,
Right.
I found that to be the case.
Bobbi just got out
I
of
kind of
prison.
dropped that one.
Yeah, we know.
Right.
We know, Bobbi.
I've tried them all.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. If you guys need anything, let us know. Just like Bobbi said, most all of us have signs if we have an open house coming up. If you just want to chat or want to talk strategy, we're always available. So
And if you guys want to do, text don't text because it doesn't respond. Email Jared and tell him that you would like to have that group meeting. So you can throw objections at me, you can throw behaviors at me, you can do whatever it is that you want to make sure, what would I do if? Because I'll do that.
there you go. We'll set it up and we'll
If you
do
guys want it, but would help you at all, let me know and I'll be happy to do it.
we'll call it What Would Bobbi Do Live?
Exactly.
There
All
you
right.
go. Thanks,
Carry on,
guys.
man.
I will send this out. If anybody has any other questions, thoughts, wishes, hopes, let us know.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.